Hi everyone, Alex Pattle here with The Independent, and we're joined today by Chris Billam-Smith, who's just won the WBO Cruiserweight world title. We're here 2 weeks on from the fight. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, very well. It's still sort of hasn't quite sunk in, but it's slowly sinking in and it feels good.
Cool. Well, thank you for joining us. Obviously, it was a couple of weeks ago. You beat Lawrence Coley, a former teammate of yours, on points at Dean Court, home to your beloved AFC Bournemouth. We'll get on to the fight itself and the scenes after the fight, which have kind of been going viral. I think a lot of people, empathizing with some of your emotions after the fight. But I want to start with the walkout. You've long dreamt of fighting in that ground. You come out the first portion of the walkout, Hometown Glory by Adele, which is kind of almost like a mellow song for that moment, but obviously very pertinent lyrically. You seemed very focused and intense. Were you able to take in the moment, or were you kind of just focus on the fight?
Yeah, I mean, I've had the ring walk rehearsal on the Friday, so I went and sat in my old season ticket seat and just looked at the setup, and I was like, this is crazy. So it was nice to take it in then. So also that I wouldn't get overwhelmed, do the ring walk rehearsal and sort of get in the zone then and imagine what it's going to be like. And then and in the ring walk I sort of just stayed focused. But then there's a point where I sort of looked round and just like nod to myself, like still very much in the zone and focused and staying calm. But yeah, I just looked round and thought this is awesome. So yeah, it was Hometown Glory is one of my favourite songs. I've always loved it. And obviously the guys came up with the videotape before, and I was like, well, I was thinking of having Hometown Glory into my usual sort of Nonny Red Army chant, and then Kano, and then they were like, well, we're going to do a video. And I was like, well, put that over the video, and they nailed it with that. So yeah, it was perfect.
What about during the fight itself? Again, were there any moments where the reality of the environment and the situation bled in, or did you kind of have the blinkers on?
Yeah, very much had the blinkers on. It was very important for me to visualize everything before and how it was going to be, so it wasn't overwhelming and it wasn't like, oh my god, this is actually happening. So it was all the visualization helped. I was very calm in the ring, and just the whole time in the build up I was just thinking about those 12 rounds and just how I was going to react and make sure I reacted logically to every situation.
You said you'd worked on the left hook. Obviously that was a key shot in the fight. And from your perspective, it was a great performance with 3 knockdowns. It was quite a bitty fight, I think, in the sense that Lawrence has come under a fair bit of criticism for holding too much. He was docked points for holding. What was it like as it was playing out? I mean, obviously you must have taken, encouragement from the fact that the shots you wanted to find were there, but was it frustrating in those periods where the fight wasn't as free-flowing, maybe?
Yeah, of course, but also I was prepared for that because I've sparred so many rounds with Lawrence. I've watched him for years, so it was expected. So it's about, like, once again, just staying calm and reacting logically, because that was always good. So many people get frustrated and then they just try and swing, but I just had to stay calm throughout, and obviously Shane came out with the game plan of, especially the first 3 rounds, of staying safe and not giving too much away, even in terms of like shots, and then building on it. And then obviously round 4 found the shot, and that was a shot we've been working on all camp. So yeah, it went perfectly in that sense. But obviously the fight, it's not an ideal fight to be in, but I had to stay calm throughout, and it was expected.
Do you think, I mean, it was just under a year ago that you had a war basically with Isaac Chamberlain. You had a stunning knockout, the Independence knockout of the year for 2022 even. And then you go into a fight like this, which again, it was kind of stop-start. Do you think you've shown off your versatility with those 3 different performances?
Yeah, I think so. I think Lawrence expected me just to walk forward or walk him down and just try and bully my way through. And I think I showed a bit of versatility as much as I could. Obviously outside the holding, but I think so. I think the last sort of the 2 fights beforehand, Isaac was a very gritty fight and very intense. Then obviously the second one was a bit slightly similar, but just once again staying calm in that fight. And then obviously the other night was something slightly different again, and I think so. And I think I'm just improving all the time under Shane as a boxer.
Obviously between the knockdowns and the dock points, a lot of people were confident you'd done enough. I'm sure you were as well, but what was the feeling like when the 112 scorecard was read out?
Yeah, I remember listening to it and thinking, like, frowning. I think I did in the when I watched it back, and then I wasn't really listening to the scores, but I just knew it was obviously a majority decision because it said the draw first, so it was going to be a majority. And then and then but then I didn't listen to the scores. I just obviously knew they were going to give it as a majority. And then if I had, I think I would have known, because obviously one of them was a 107. And I couldn't have got a 107. Couldn't have been me, because I had no points deducted or knocked down or anything. So minimum I would have had as a 108. So, but I wasn't really listening. So then obviously I was just waiting for him to say and then you, and he said it, and wave of emotion.
Yeah. Can you talk a bit about the emotions? Obviously Shane, your coach, sort of hoists you aloft, and then you almost sort of fall to your knees.
Yeah.
I think a lot of kids would dream of winning a world title. A lot would dream about fighting in their football team's ground, but to do both on the same night, what was going through your head, and what were your emotions in that exact moment?
Yeah, just like I'd done it. That was just all I was thinking. I just couldn't believe it. It was such a long journey, lots of ups and downs in my career, and obviously at the moment with my mum being unwell and stuff, and yeah, loads going on. So there's and missed my son's first birthday the day before, which is a completely different emotion. So for it to be all worth it, and all the hard graft put in over the years of not earning any money as an amateur, and even earlier on as a pro, not earning as a huge amount of money and scraping by at times, but to finally to do it and achieve my ultimate dream of winning a world title at the stadium, you can't really put it into words, to be honest with you.
You mentioned your mum there, and you dedicated the win to her. You said she's been dealing with cancer. Obviously, I think our parents just want us to try our hardest. They want us to be happy. I don't think that changes no matter how much older we get or how successful we may become. But wanting to do it in part for her as much as for yourself, did that add a different kind of pressure for the fight?
In a way, but maybe subconsciously. But I had so many reasons to win. So I had 15,000 people there that I couldn't let down. I had my mum I couldn't let down, my wife, my son. Like, there was so many reasons that I had that all just added up. And like I said in the post-fight press conference, I was ill in the weekend, but I was never not going in there and giving it 100%, because for all those reasons. So and then obviously for myself as well, obviously all the graft through the years. And and it was just had so many reasons to put in effort. But my mum obviously was a huge part of that as well.
When we last spoke, I think Frank would have only been a few weeks old. As you said, it was his birthday the day before the fight. How does it feel for you to know that whatever happens at this point, as he grows up, he'll know that his dad was a world champion?
Yeah, it's weird. Be amazing. And like I said, he was turn 1 the day before, has no idea what's going on. Thankfully, he doesn't know that I missed his birthday, and I was, just standing half naked in front of loads of people at Bournemouth Pier on his birthday. But yeah, it's nice. It'd be amazing for him to grow up and hopefully he'd be proud of his dad.
And last one, I know you said you've been away, you've had a wedding, you've had a stag do. I think sometimes when people achieve things as unique as this in terms of a long standing dream, they can have a little bit of an existential crisis in terms of what they do next. And like you said, it was such a long dream, and you thought to yourself, I've done it. What do you think now, looking forward to the future? Do you have strong plans, or start plans for what's next? Have you thought that far ahead, or not really?
Yeah, I mean, this was always a dream, so it's just about creating another dream. I'd love to fight in Vegas, but most importantly, I need to secure my family's future financially, and look towards that. But I'm not the finished article as a boxer. Any sport I've ever played, I've always just wanted to give it 100% and improve, and that's still the same me now. I messaged my strength conditioning coach last night saying, "Hi mate, I'm in London tomorrow doing some bits, and towards the end of the week can we start training again?" And yeah, so that's what I'm about. I'm just about getting back in the gym and improving. I won't probably be punching until next month. Obviously I won't be sparring for a while with a cut. But yeah, I'll probably be back in the gym with Shane in probably first week of July, and then just improving it and let the team deal with everything else, and just get back to what I need to be doing and looking to improve.
Well, whatever's next, good luck with it. Thank you again for joining us today. Thank you to everyone for watching. We'll see you soon.